Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we are back with episode 16 of our newest Let's Play series, and this is of course oxygen not included. Last time around we finished our full Rodriguez right here, and it is pumping out oxygen and hydrogen like it's absolutely nothing. Yes, we are looking pretty decent. We have a couple more things to fix right here, which we will do right away, and then we will jump over to Abundino and make sure we finish a couple builds over there as well. So let's just jump right into it and see how that works out for us. And here we are. So let's take care of the first problem first. Right in front of us, right here, we have the carbon dioxide in this area. So let me pause the game and let's take a look at this here. This here is a double liquid lock setup, and the only reason that we build it is to keep the heat in but still provide access. And the problem is, if there is anything but a vacuum in here, the heat will transfer to this crude oil right here and leak out. That is certainly something that we don't want, so we need to fix it right away. We go into ventilation, grab us a gas pump made out of literally anything, does not matter, plop it right there, come up with a pipe. Not exactly like that though. What the heck is going on? There we go, that's better. And then right here, a high pressure gas vent. Then in F2, we're gonna grab us a conductive wire and of course connect it to power. The nice thing is it will turn on as soon as it's built, then it will pump out all the carbon dioxide, and as soon as there's no more carbon dioxide left over, it will turn itself off. And we're also gonna mop up this one little thing there. It really doesn't matter, but it looks a hell of a lot nicer. So let's get that done here. How are the priorities set? Not right. Let's make sure that's correct. Let's just select anything, give it a number 9, and the game will remember. So let's take care of the second issue. Right here in front of us, we have the two oxygen diffusers, and you can see that they are already not running anymore at full force. They say max gas pressure. And the reason for it is that, well, we have reached the max gas pressure probably in a couple places around our base. Well, not quite yet, because the max gas pressure is about 2000. But that is fine. We will just rip him out because we won't need him anymore. That is the main thing. I do not want to waste any more algae. We're just gonna store it here for right now, and probably we're gonna later on ship it over to Abundino, depending on how fast we can generate our own oxygen over there. And here we are on Abundino. As you can see, not a hell of a lot has changed, and our dupes are still cleaning up a bunch of stuff that's laying around on the floor, mainly in their living areas. So what are we doing here? We need a electrical engineer. That is what we need. So let's take a look into skills and take a look at random dude. A mechatronics engineer, not an electrical engineer. Oh, my mistake. The second mistake, because yes, a random dude has a point available, but I cannot give him this skill. Reason being is, for a mechatronics engineer, you need improved carrying and improved carrying too, and we don't have either, and I didn't even think of that. So random dude for now is going to get improved carrying to at least get him a little bit closer to there, but at the same time we need to head back to Ingenium, come all the way to the top right here, and assign where you at Luma place needs to go into the teleporter, because we need to borrow our electrical engineer, I said electrical again, our mechatronics engineer from Ingenium, and bring him over to Abundino so we can finish up over here what we need. So Luma is gonna come by, help out, and we're gonna send him back as soon as we are done with him, and as soon as random dude is a little bit closer to where he needs to be. But while we are waiting for Luma to show up, we will take a look at this build right here. So let's do that right away. First of all, we need to take a look into our power overlay. So let's do that. We need a conductive wire that powers all this stuff right here. All the way through here, all the way through there. We come through the wall, all the way to the bottom and hook it up right there. Now, how do we actually supply this entire system here with power? Probably we only have one choice, and that choice is over here. We need to come all the way through, all the way over. Yeah, just like this here. I don't think we have a different choice. We need to power all of this stuff all the way over here from the left. Yeah, that is what that is going to look like. Then next thing on the list will be in shipping. We need a conveyor rail. Better to say 2, but for right now 1 is enough. We're gonna come out of here and come over to right there. Here we will need another conveyor loader, which we can't build until Luma actually shows up. Then in power, of course, we also need to power this thing right here. There we go. That looks a hell of a lot better. Now, when all this here is built, what else do we need in F6? Yes, we have all of these here completed. Okay, our steam turbine here doesn't have an output. That is, of course, something that we will also need. So let's plop that in right away to make sure we don't forget it later on. That would be pretty bad. Bridge the right way around. And now, that should be most of the stuff that we need, other than polluted water and water that goes in here, as well as polluted water that goes into our radiant liquid pipe. Yeah, that is what we have to do next. As you can see, we do not have any polluted water on this base here or on this planetoid at all. So we need to get it over from Ingenium. That is the plan, and that is what we're going to do next. Right over here on Ingenium, the night has passed and our gas pump here is done. So we can once and for all get rid of it once again, and then of course hop in our F7 overlay and get rid of all this piping here as well. We won't need it anymore, and also this high pressure gas vent right here. Also in F2, let's make sure everything goes that we don't need anymore, so we don't have any unnecessary resources bound up in this nonsense right here. But down here, that is where I actually wanted to go. Here we have polluted water. Lots of it, as a matter of fact, and we will need quite a lot over on the other side. So what we're going to do is, once again, pretty simple and straightforward in plumbing. We're just going to grab us an insulated pipe, and we're going to come straight up to here and plop it into there. And then this pipe here goes all the way through, all the way to the supply teleporter input right here. This is how we got our crude oil over there, and this will also be how we get our polluted water over there. So that is the general idea. And then back on Abundino, of course, we need to go a little bit further up here. Here is where we got our crude oil from. That is, of course, not going to work with our polluted water. So let's take a look into the F6 overlay, grab us an insulated pipe made out of igneous rock. We have more than enough of that stuff. And then we come all the way down to, yeah, where are we going actually? Probably all the way down here and then straight over there. This is just going to be a temporary construct, so it doesn't matter that much. Just gonna plop in a couple of ladders right here. Let's get rid of this one piece right there. Let's deconstruct it, and that should be the end of it for right now. Let's go. Right here on the top, we have this tiny little bit of water, and I'm quite unhappy about it. So let's do something about that as well. I don't want to open up this connection here for the dupes to go through right away, because right down here we have this wonderful, wonderful park sign that creates a nature reserve for us. So of course I want the dupes to go through here, even though it may take a second longer, but we need it for morale purposes right now until we come up with something better. But I still want to get rid of it so we can use it later for whenever we need it. So let's just grab us a liquid pump, and we're gonna plop it. Yeah, where are we gonna plop it? Probably right here. That's the only way that we can do it. So let's grab us a liquid pipe, just a normal liquid pipe. It literally doesn't matter. And we're gonna come all the way along here with it for right now. That is fine. Later on, we are going to just hook it up right here and reuse this pipe, because later on we won't need that anymore either. That is at least the general idea. For right now though, all we have to do is dig up this stuff right here so the dupes can actually get in here. Actually, let me do it differently. We're gonna dig up this stuff right here so the dupes can get in here. That's better. Of course, our pipe should stay here if at all possible, which it should be. And then right here, our dupes can walk over, and then down there so they can build all of this stuff here. We will also need a tiny little bit of power. Let's get up here through there, and then we will decide how our power comes over here. Reality is, most likely we will come through here somewhere. Yeah, that is probably what's gonna happen. Later on, we will need this power here anyway to come up here to the top. But for right now, we are fine. Well, actually, you know what? Let's build it right away, and let's make sure we get rid of this one right there. Also, our natural gas geyser has 0.9 cycles, so we need to get coal over here right away. So let's do that. Right here, our liquid pipe is making great progress. As a matter of fact, it's done. I just have it snipped off right here on purpose so we don't accidentally send water over before the rest is done. Don't want that. Want to have it all completely controlled. But right here is our conveyor loader. It is set to a number 9 priority, allow manual use, and all we're gonna do is say consumable or coal. And now the dupe should come by, because everything else that we have that is actually storing coal is set to a priority of 8. This one here is set to 9, so this one here is highest priority. It will take a tiny little bit, but the dupes will eventually come by, bring some coal, plop it in there, and deliver it over. At this point, then on Abundino, right here, this one here is set to coal with a number 9 priority. Highest priority, it should come here. The dupe should fill up those generators. I will also give these here a number 8 priority. Let's make sure that these here are nice and full. And at this point, we should be good. But of course, there's one more thing that we need over here, isn't there? Yes, we will need a smart battery so we can actually control our output. Where is my smart battery? Am I blind? Nope, right there it is. And we're just gonna plop it back there. Plop in a heavy watt wire all the way through, and then we're gonna go into automation. Grab us an automation wire and make sure all of these here are then hooked up to the smart battery. That is what needs to be done right away, so we make sure we have some power over here. Meanwhile, it looks like everything is built. So, this infectious polluted oxygen vent here is still dormant, so we are going to take a little bit of a risk. First of all, I'm going to get rid of this here so we can exchange the gases a little bit easier, but at the same point, the radiant liquid pipe right here, we are going to finish it. Yes, now it is time to actually make sure that this thing here is free. But we don't know. It could be erupting here in 5 seconds. It could be erupting here in 50 cycles. I have no idea. So what we need to do is we need to analyze it then right away to make sure we know where we stand, and we just hope for the best. That is what it's going to come down to. Yes, it's not the best option, but it is what it is. We don't have a choice. So that is what we're going to do, and then we will see where we are. But that also means we need to hurry. So on Ingenium over here, we are going to make this here full. Let's play the game. And now the polluted water is flowing. Let's double check one more time that the entirety of the way here is done. There we go. That is exactly what I mean. Let's always double check before you do something, because we can clearly see this stuff would have ended up with our crude oil. We're coming all the way down and into right there. All this here is going to be built, so that should be perfectly fine. So far, so good. This one piece here, though, needs to be built. This radiant liquid pipe here needs to have the highest priority so our polluted water can actually come through. Here comes random dude. He digs it up, he builds it, and now we are good. And our polluted water should come out here any second now. That is very, very good. We also have all this here done. That is also good. Can we automate this here? Can we automate 3 of them? I do not know, but there's only one way to find out. Let's hop into shipping. Let's grab an auto sweeper and let's see. I believe this could work right here. Yeah, let's see if we build one right here, and then let's go into power and grab us the heavy watt wire. We're just going to come straight up and power it directly with the heavy watt wire. And let's see if our auto sweeper, as soon as something is in our storage bin, of course, can actually fill these here up directly. Also, this here is now working. Yes, everything's working as expected. Our gas pump is pumping out the natural gas and puts it into our storage for later use whenever we have enough, so we can actually use some gas generators. Right over here, we can see we already have a bunch of polluted water in here, so we need to make sure that we snip it back off all the way down here. We will get more of this stuff here over, which is perfectly fine. Better too much than not enough. We will need it later again, and then we just siphon it off from this system here and use it for another one. At least that is the general idea. So if we fill this here up to the brim, I really don't care. It's perfectly fine. As long as we don't overfill it, it's not an issue. And here comes Tamer and is actually taking care of the research of our infectious polluted oxygen vent. So that is very good. Very soon we will know how much longer this thing here will be dormant. Now our loop here is completed, which is very good, so we can do a couple more things. First of all, let's make sure that this line here is snipped off, and then we can actually tear it out. Like I said earlier, we won't need it anymore. We're gonna tear it out all the way to right here, and then all the way from here all the way over to there. That is what we're gonna get rid of because we don't need it. Actually, this one tile here we're going to keep because it doesn't matter, and then we're gonna go to plumbing. We're gonna grab us a liquid vent and plop the liquid vent right there. And then we can actually connect this here up as well. As soon as this is connected, this pump here should work. Well, if it has power, that is a problem. So let's hook this here up as well. And then we're going to get rid of all this water right here. I certainly don't want to see it anymore. We have a bottle emptier. Yes, we do. So we can mop as well. No problem at all. That should solve this problem here right away. We have more problems than that. Right here, we of course need to get the oxygen out, and we need to fill it up with polluted water and water. So how are we gonna do this, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple and straightforward as usual. Not like this though. Here we will need a airflow tile right here, and then we are going to get rid of, let's say, this tile right here. Deconstruct the one on the very right and the one here on the top. So we don't have to tear everything back out, because we will need a bottle emptier, and the bottle emptier is going to live right here. So it will just plop all the way down, and this is where we get our good, our fresh, our normal water from. But we also need polluted water, and the polluted water we're just gonna siphon off of this system here. No problem whatsoever. We're just gonna come over here. This is the tile that we're gonna tear out. As soon as it is gone, we're just gonna plop in one of those liquid vents right here, and that should be that. We just need a tiny little bit of it. Now all of these tiles here are deconstructed, and I built a ladder down here, or better to say, I'm going to build a ladder down here. I just want all this chlorine here to disappear, and the best thing to do is to just build a pit, especially when we have a bunch of oxygen down here that we will use anyway, so that will work out just in our favor. But now, most importantly, first of all, we need this liquid vent right here. As soon as this is built, every second one of those blobs right here will go into the liquid vent and drop into here. That is exactly what we need. As soon as that is done, the bottle emptier here can be turned to liquid, water, number 9 priority, and then we are actually going to turn on enable auto bottle. Not right now. First I want the polluted water, and then we will put the normal water on top of it. And here we have it. Our liquid vent has been built and we already have 83 kilograms per tile in here. Okay, that is already way too much. We're going to deconstruct this here and then right away I'm going to snip it off. We don't need that much water. Quite honestly, there's no point in having it. So come on, let's get one more blob up there just like this and that should be fine. And then we are actually going to enable auto bottle and make sure that we destroy all this extra stuff here that we built. There we go, just like that. That should get the job done. Also liquid vent, yes, everything is fine. And then as soon as we have a little bit of water in here on top of our polluted water, we can close the system here off completely and I will call it done from that point forward. And now everything is done. Here comes Luma with 200 kilograms worth of water and our infectious polluted oxygen vent has been analyzed. And what can we see? Next activity in 11.9 cycles. That is not that far away, but also more than enough to actually sort all of this here out wonderfully. Yes, that is not going to be a problem at all. And now we have our water and our polluted water in here. We can see it on the F4 overlay. Everything is water on the top and everything's polluted water on the bottom. So let's actually start and close up this entire system right here, just like that. Yes, that is what we are going to do. And then what else do we need? We need to kill this here, that is for sure. The bottle emptier here needs to be deconstructed. And then our steam turbine here does not have a power output. So we probably have to do something about that as well. And that something is a heavy watt joint plate. With a heavy watt wire, we're going to come out of here. And as soon as this here is done, but actually the heavy watt joint plate has to wait a little bit until we have all this here built, because the dupes are of course coming to come by and then they're gonna build this here first and then they cannot enter anymore. So we're gonna build the tables first. As soon as we have that, then we are going to build this here. Yes, and then how do we get power over here? That is going to be the more interesting question most likely. We're gonna grab this heavy watt wire right here. We're gonna come all the way down to there. Yes, we can go along the bottom of the base. Yeah, that should work just fine. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. A heavy watt joint plate right here so we don't release all this ethanol right here. Then from right here, we're going to keep on going all the way over to there. Here we're going to come down and then here we're going to come over. Heavy watt joint plate right there. All the way along here, heavy watt joint plate right here so we can actually keep this thing here alive. We definitely want that extra moral. That is highly important. And then right here. Yeah, right there, as a matter of fact, we can come up all the way to right there. Yeah, that's going to be the general idea. What we are doing here. Here we need a bridge. That is also what we can already put in there. But yeah, other than that, we are looking pretty decent. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Of course, to reach all this stuff here, we will need to do a tiny little bit of digging. There is no question about it. Also, we need some ladders so the dupes can actually reach where they're supposed to go. Here, here, and there to get the job done. And then right here, how are we going to do this here? Here a ladder, there a ladder. I'm just going to put ladders all across here to all the places that the dupes can reach. All this here is 4 high, so that should be fine. And then just one central point where the dupes can actually get on top of here. And then we get digging. Just like this. That should do. And that should be just fine. Here we're going to plop in a few tiles to actually block this here off. Yeah, we're looking pretty good, I think. Right here on the top, this here is also done, so we can also deconstruct all this stuff here. We don't need it anymore, that is for sure in our F6 overlay. Now we can deconstruct the rest of all this piping, get rid of the liquid vent, and get rid of the liquid pump as well. And then later on, as a matter of fact, I can already dig all of this here out. All of this here can go. Later on, when we want to open this here up to make the ways for our dupes a little bit more efficient, we are now ready to do exactly that. Very, very good. Alright, all this stuff here is now built as it should be, and there's only a couple things more to do. Down here, this one conductive wire that goes straight through, we don't need it anymore since we now have our bridge here, so we can get rid of it. Then at the same time, we can grab this heavy watt joint plate right here, plop it right there, and the insulated tile right above it. What do we have in here? Oxygen. That's perfectly fine. Then insulated tiles, we can actually make sure that this here is enclosed. This here is already enclosed, but I forgot this conveyor loader right here. This conveyor loader right here, its only purpose is to get the clay out that these deodorizers here produce. We also need to get some sand in here. I already set it up for sand. Apparently we need to give it a high priority so the dudes actually get to do it. But that's fine. Number 8 priority should get the job done, and they should just pick up some sand, bring it over here, and we drop it down right here. That is the plan. Okay, but other than that, right here is conveyor loader. Yes, that's what I was talking about. We need to go into shipping, and we need to grab us a conveyor rail. And the conveyor rail, for right now, I'm going to do something extremely simple because we don't really have a use for this clay. I'm just going to come all the way over here, all the way into right there. Then right around here, come on, one more further down. There you go. A conveyor chute. And then we are going to grab us insulated tiles. I said insulated tiles, there we go. And then we are just going to plop something like this here down. Let's see, this here's 3 low, that should be perfectly fine. We're gonna come over like this and close it then back up like that. In this construction right here, we can then put an auto sweeper. Where is my auto sweeper at, please? There we go, it's in shipping. In shipping, an auto sweeper that we're gonna plop into this area right here, probably just right here. That is perfectly fine. And then a conveyor loader. And then the conveyor loader right here, all we are going to do is plop a conveyor rail on it that comes back out. All this here, of course, needs to be dug out in this direction as well as in this direction, just like this here, all the way on the bottom over as well, so we can actually reach all the stuff right here. That also gives me an opportunity to put in a fire pole on the right side of this ladder right here, just to make the ways for our dupes a little bit easier, and of course also to reach the right side. But other than that, this here is going to be literally this simple. Of course, to make sure that the dupes actually get in and out of there, we need to open up a tiny little space right here for them. But yeah, it's going to be this simple. We're just going to store it over here in its own tiny little chamber, because it will be completely full with germs and I don't want to deal with it right now. So we're just going to store it right there, and if we ever need it, we have an auto sweeper right here as well as a conveyor loader to get it out of there. Let's also make sure that we have power over there though while we are at it. This wire right here has a potential load of 1820. That's perfectly fine. So we're just going to extend this wire straight over, and we probably just going to, how are we going to do this? Follow along here. Yes, that probably looks best. Come over to here. And then from here back over. And then we're just going to leave this here. I'm not even going to set it up. That is all we're going to do. Another problem that we are having is this area right down here. And the reason for it is that, yes, when we take a look into our room overlay, this here is not a nature reserve anymore because we are 3 tiles too big. So let's make it 3 tiles smaller. We're just going to plop one right here, one right there, and I don't know, for all I care, you plop one up here. It's not going to be in the way, so that should be fine. And as soon as that is built, this here will be a nature reserve once again and bring us wonderful, wonderful improvements to our morale. And there it is, the nature reserve has been restored. Just as simple as that. And while the dupes are building all of this over here, we can already start planning a tiny little bit for our steam vent. That will probably not fit into this episode completely, but we can already get started. There are already some insulated tiles right here. So what we need is 3 chambers. 1 chamber in the middle that is 10 wide and 4 high, and then 1 on the left and on the right of that chamber, which is each 8 wide. So let's see if we can do that right here without having to do anything. I can already see this here is not going to work. So we have our 4 right here. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5. So right here, we will need a wall. And that wall is going to build out of metal tiles, and those metal tiles will be made out of aluminum. So right here, we're going to block it off. And on the other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the 6th place, we're going to come up and build it right there, just like this. That is what we will need down here. So we can already build it all the way to right there. This is our 10 wide space. Let's take a look. Let's make sure. Yes, sure enough, it is 10 wide. Then we need a 8 wide space that is right beside it. Right here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the 9th place is going to be right here. Then we just need to build a wall around it. Something kind of like this here. Let's make sure those here are 9 tiles. So actually that was 1 too far. Pretty simple to fix it. Just like this here. Yep, now it's 8. And now we can dig all of this here up. Just as simple as that. And then over here on the left side, we will have to deconstruct a bunch of stuff over here. So let's do that right away. And probably the smartest thing is to deconstruct it all the way to right around here, so we don't have to mess with this water right now. We're just going to go into deconstruct, and we're going to make sure that all of this here gets deconstructed. First of all this here, and then we will keep going further down. Right here, most everything is now built, so let's do the last couple things that we have to do. I opened up the wall right here so we can actually build our power wire as well as our conveyor rail. But right here, our thermal tuner, it is time to start cooling. I set a current T to below -5 degrees. Obviously, that is not going to fly. So we're going to set it to above and it will turn on immediately. But there's one more thing that we need. And this is this gas pump right here. This gas pump right here, it has an output. And this output we will bring all the way through the wall right here, all the way up. And then we will snake it all the way over to here. Because I honestly do not know exactly how much pipe we need to actually clean our oxygen. But we will certainly find out. And so we're going to plop a gas vent here on the end, and then we're going to go into automation. No, we are going to go into medicine. No, not either. So it has to be in ventilation. Yes, in ventilation. And we need a gas pipe churn sensor. And we're just going to plop a churn sensor on each and every one of those endings right here. The reason for it is so we can actually see if we have churns in it or not. So if we have to make it longer or shorter or whatever may be be the case. That is going to be the general idea here. So now we just need to make sure that our dupes actually can reach all of it. So we build a ladder here, 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 and here, and that should make him able to reach everything. Let's get all of this here built, and then we will see how it works. And now, last but not least, almost everything is done here. The only thing that's not done is we need to pick up this stuff right here and put in a wall. And over here, we need one more piece of heavy watt wire, because currently our steam turbine is producing 380 watts just from our steam turbine right here, cooling down the water, or better to say the polluted water. And we are not doing anything with that power. And that is, of course, not what we want at all. So the other thing that we need are those gas pipe churn sensors right here. They're currently set to above 0. What we want to see is below 0, or better to say below 1. That is what we want, because if they are below 1, then they go green, and we can see immediately if this one here is red, and this one here is red, and this one here is red, and this one here is green, then we know that we will be clean here every single time. If all of these stay red, well, then we have to do something else. But for right now, that is what we're going to do. And we're going to copy the settings over to all the others, and there is that. It's literally this simple, and we will see what happens when this thing here comes online in 7.3 cycles. And now we are actually also utilizing our power. Our heavy watt wire piece is built, so that is very, very good. We are not just wasting all of the power, we are actually getting about 400 watts back. Right down here on the bottom, we are looking very, very good. Here on the left side, we have all of this here deconstructed, and the dupes are here building all of this stuff that we still need to get our third chamber completed as well. The right chamber and the middle chamber are already done. Just the left is lacking behind a tiny little bit, but that is okay. We will take care of that right away. We just need a new ladder over here. As soon as this tile here is built, the dupes can actually reach it, and then we are looking a hell of a lot better. Let's take a quick look. How far are we away? 4.7 cycles. I am really curious to see this here running. That is my main focus right now. And also we are cleaning up a little bit of stuff all around here to make sure it looks nice later on, obviously for the thumbnail. Yes, I'm not even going to lie about it. While we are waiting over there, I just realized, yes, our aluminum volcano is also back online. So we should probably make sure that we get more salt water out of here. So let's take a look. Last time around, all we did is we snipped this here off and we just rotated the water around. Of course, now we are going to reverse that 100%. Right here, we're going to snip this here off and we connect it into there. So now we are going back exactly where we should be, which is our infinite storage right here on the right. And then down here on the bottom, we will connect this here in. Just like this. Now our salt water is once again flowing. That is going to be very good, and that is exactly what that should look like. Slowly but steadily, this one here should automatically just turn itself back on. We're getting the salt out of it. We are steaming up our wonderful, wonderful salt water and extract it out into our infinite storage until this thing here goes dormant again in 120 cycles. So whenever this here is empty, there is more around. We definitely are not going to run out of salt water anytime soon. That is for sure. And right now, the aluminum volcano is once again erupting. We're getting wonderful aluminum out of here, which is of course amazing. That is exactly what we want, and we are looking good. We are bringing in more and more salt water, slowly but steadily. What are we bringing in currently? Yes, it is 3,000 grams per second, so 3 kilograms a second, and we are just pumping it all into here, and our aluminum volcano will take care of it. It's great. It's wonderful. That's all we will ever need. It's just exactly what we wanted. And the moment of truth is almost here. Our infectious polluted oxygen vent is not dormant anymore. It will erupt in 10 seconds, and then it will be highly interesting to see how our gas pipe churn sensors over here will react. So 5 seconds to go, and we will of course see what is going on here. The temperature currently in here is negative 6.5 degrees, which is pretty decent. So let's see. Yes, we are getting all of this polluted oxygen out, and the polluted oxygen will then eventually just rise all the way up to the top. I should have probably created a vacuum in here, which would have made things a tiny little bit easier, but we will see how that works out for us. I can always create a vacuum still if I have to. It is definitely not the issue that will kill us, but we are mainly interested in the churns. The churn overlay are looking pretty decent. We have some churns still up here, of course, and that is expected. But as soon as the temperature is going down, which it always is, we will hopefully get it out before we leave the end of this pipe right here. So let's see if my theory is right. And the gas pump has just turned on here for a second, and we will see right here how many churns do we have. None. No, that is not correct. We have 5 churns, 4 churns, 3 churns. Yeah, I would have been highly surprised if that would have been none. Let's take a look at the second one right here. It still turns red, which is of course an issue. Let's take a look at the third one right here. I am pretty confident that that should be okay on the third one. No, we still have 7 churns in it, so the third one is still needed. How about the fourth one? It is definitely staying interesting over here. And we are down to still 7. Why are we not getting rid of them? Is it bugged potentially? That would be, of course, a problem. Yes, this very first one here. What about this one? It still shows red. Maybe we have one piece in here that is bugged because it clearly doesn't happen anymore. So I believe that there was a bug in the very first thing that actually came out of here. Because right now, clearly we can see we do not have this issue anymore. Only the first one turns red. The second one actually never turns red anymore. Yeah, I will let it run for a tiny little bit and make sure that it really was just a bug. Now we had this one here turn red for a second on one of those pieces right here. Let's see, what about the third one right here? We're at 0. We have red 1. Okay, 1 singular churn. Okay, yeah, I don't think that's going to kill us. And we can see nothing comes actually out at the end here. Yeah, I think the system is working and it's definitely longer than it needs to be, but for right now it works just fine. And it's also coming out extremely cool, which is of course something that we also need to keep in mind. We are at -2 degrees, -3 degrees, but the nice thing is we definitely don't have a heat problem. So if we cool this entire side here down of the base, I am not unhappy about it. Cooling is also coming from this area right here apparently, which is also fine. And as soon as we dig into those hotter areas right here, we will release a little bit of heat into the base anyway. Especially this here is something that I want to dig in here because there's a bunch of sand in here, which we will need for the system here to work. How much sand do we have left? 1.3 tons, so we're looking decent. This one here is set to a 9, but currently they are picking up all the stuff right here. As soon as all this here is gone, more sand will come in absolutely automatically. So let me run it for 1 cycle just to make sure everything works, and then we will hopefully be able to nicely conclude this episode. And here we have it. Yes, wonderful. About 1 cycle later, it is still running, and this is the second eruption coming out of it. And we can see once again our lights switch on and off. It is no problem at all. And we are creating wonderful clay and pure oxygen for our dupes to breathe. And at the same time, we are actually utilizing something that is usually not utilized by a lot of people. Yes, it is a lot of work for really not that much output. That is the truth of it. There is no lie. If you just wall this thing here up and never touch it again, I will not be mad at you, and so will nobody else. It's kind of crazy to build all of this here just for this tiny little bit of oxygen. But I figured we have the resources available, so we may as well. Why wouldn't we utilize it and show it off how it is actually done in a real game? So here we are. And then last but not least, let's check in on our aluminum volcano. Once again, we have about 40 kilograms, 45 kilograms worth of steam in here, which is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with it. We're producing power and we are also cooling down our liquid. It is slowly going up, mainly because of our water geyser down here. How much longer is this thing here active? 10.5 cycles, so this thing here will go dormant and then we will actually cool this here down a hell of a lot more because we are nowhere near putting as much water in it as we are doing with this water geyser. But overall, we are looking very, very good, and that steam vent down there is on the agenda for next time around. But that is all I have for you today, so if you enjoyed the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video and comment down below. You know it, I'm always happy to hear from you, and all of the above will help me out greatly. And with that I say thank you and peace.